suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Wolfman's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be ranking all the Ghostface killers. Now I probably don't have to tell you this, but this is going to be a spoiler review for anyone who's not seen any of the Scream movies, especially including the newest Scream movie in the franchise. So there are 9 killers that we know of that I'm going to be ranking today. I'm going to miss out the TV show killers. We're just going to be doing the movie killers in this video. Now you may be wondering, how are you going to rank these killers? Well, I'm not going to be ranking them based on them wearing the costumes because we don't officially know who killed who, even though I'm still doing a series called Who Killed Who. That's just an opinion based video series. So I can't say this person's better than that person because they killed that person and this person, because none of that is official. So what I'm going to be doing is, after they are revealed to be the killers, this is how I'm going to rank them. And at number 9 is Charlie from Scream 4. I feel like Rory Culkin should have been higher on the list because it is Rory Culkin. He's a really good actor, but in Scream 4 I thought he was terrible, and even when he was revealed to be one of the killers, it was like a cheap imitation, a knockoff of previous killers. Now I know that you can't keep changing the formula, and they certainly didn't do that in Scream 4, but when it was revealed that Charlie was one of the killers, I just thought, nah, he didn't look menacing enough to be able to kill anyone, and even after he was revealed to be the killer, he still wasn't menacing at all. And at number 8 is Roman from Scream 3. Now there's a lot of factors, and I feel sorry for Roman because he didn't have an accomplice with him to help him maybe look better when it was revealed to be he was the killer with possibly Angelina. But it was only him that was the killer, and I think his backstory was fine. You know, he had a good motive to be a killer, but because of what he said, kind of rewrote some of Scream 1, which I didn't like. He was one of these characters who was hardly in the movie, so it was hard to guess that he would be one of the killers. I think if he was in the movie more, had more communication with some of the characters, especially Sydney, before it was revealed to be Sydney's brother. I think if he was speaking to Sydney a few times before it, maybe his reveal would have made more sense and I would have felt more of an impact. But because he was hardly ever in the movie, he never even spoke to Sydney until the reveal. I think it was a bit of a mess. And at number 7 is Amber from Scream 5. Yep, we're going to call it Scream 5 in this video. Amber was similar to Roman, where she was hardly ever in the movie, and because she was hardly ever in it, and she was always suspicious anytime she was on screen, she was very obvious to guess that she was going to be the killer in the movie. But even when it was revealed that she was a killer, she done stupid things. She was very annoying after she became the killer as well, and obviously she killed one of my favourites, Dewey. How she was able to pull that off, I don't know. That's obviously not her fault, but that was the writer's fault. But at the same time, I just couldn't believe that she was a killer throughout the whole entire movie, and therefore she's kind of lower on the list. And at number 6 is Mrs. Loomis, aka Debbie Salt from Scream 2. And again, similar to Amber, similar to Roman, she was one of these characters who was hardly ever in the movie, and she only ever really communicated with Gale Weathers, so that when she was revealed to be the killer, it never had an impact, similar to what happened with Roman. And yes, I'm sure if she had any communication with Sydney throughout the movie, Sydney would have recognised her to be Billy's mother. But if she maybe communicated with more people, or at least had more screen time, then she would have had a bigger payoff when it was revealed that she was one of the killers. I was pleasantly surprised that she was connected to Billy Loomis. I think that was good. A good reason for her to kill people. Well, not really, but in the movie world it is. So she was a good killer, and she was quite a crazy killer when she became one of the killers. But the lead up to that, it just wasn't enough. And at number 5 is Jill from Scream 4. Now she's one of the characters that I didn't like all the way through the movie. I didn't like her whatsoever. She seemed like an even whinier, more annoying Sidney Prescott, and I did like Sidney Prescott, but I just think that Jill was a kind of knockoff version of Sidney, and I thought she was going to be one of the characters to go on in the franchise as being the lead survivor. But no, it twisted itself on its head, so I liked the twist in Scream 4, and as soon as Jill was revealed as one of the killers in the movie, something switched, not only in my brain but in the character's brain, because she became this absolutely crazy psychopath that I never saw coming. I think her performance from the moment she became the killer to the very end, that she get killed. I think she was amazing. If she carried that throughout the movie, she would probably be higher on the list, but she only got good when she became the killer. But at the same time, I am ranking the killers, and that's why she's kind of middle of the road for me, a little bit higher on the list. I think Jill was fantastic. And at number 4 is Richie from Scream 5. Now, I didn't know I was going to be putting Richie so high up on the list, but after watching the movie, after thinking about it, I think although Richie still seemed like one of the obvious choices to be one of the killers, he was one of those bumbling people. Nothing like Stu, like a real bumbling jackass, but nothing like Billy either, like someone who had all the confidence in the world. He was a bit of a mixture between Billy and Stu. He had that charm because he was the boyfriend, but he also had that kind of craziness about him, like he was crazy in an innocent way where he maybe couldn't do anything wrong. And similar to Jill, after we found out he was the killer, he still had the charm, but at the same time he had a switch flicked that made him so crazy. And at number 3 is Mickey from Scream 2. This is another one on the list that I didn't suspect that I was going to be putting him so high on the list. I thought Mickey would be lower down, but again, looking through it all, I think Mickey had one of the most sadistic reasons for being a copycat killer, you know, finding him on the internet and him just wanting to go about killing people. But also, he had a bit of Randy in him. He had the knowledge of movies, which is, in this movie world in Scream, it's quite dangerous. That's why Randy was kind of hit and miss, where people thought, could Randy be one of the killers even in future movies? But no, Mickey was similar to Randy, but he saw it through. He took those movies and made them a priority to bring them out in real life. So Mickey was very sadistic, and he was all the way throughout the movie, which was good. I suspected Mickey to be the killer at some points, but then I thought, nah, it seems too obvious that he would be the killer, because he had some really good one-liners between him and Randy, which I thought was really good. So when I found out that he was a killer, I was pleasantly surprised. And the number 2 is Stu from Scream 1. Now this wasn't easy, putting Stu in the number 2 spot. I did have to think about it, because number 1 and 2 is very, very close. I'll get into number 1 shortly, but Stu just missed out on number 1 spot. I think Stu was amazing in every scene he was in. Not only was he great as just Stu the victim, he was great as Stu the killer as well. He stole the show in almost every scene he was in. Apart from Randy, Stu had some of the most iconic lines throughout the entire movie. My mom and dad are gonna be so mad. Leading up to him being the killer, at one point when I found out he was the killer, I was kind of disappointed in a good way. I was disappointed that he was the killer, because I wanted him to survive and be a victim in future movies. That's how much I loved Stu. He just had that charm. He had the wittiness about him, and when he became the killer, he also had that, but at the same time, he was absolutely crazy. And the number 1 is Billy Loomis, the one who started it all. And I'm saying that because he was the one that had the idea to go out and kill people because of what happened between his dad and Maureen Prescott. So when it comes to reasons for doing things, you know, Billy has the biggest reason, and in fact he started the whole thing. He started the franchise, he started the series of stab movies as well, that then caused other people to want to kill people in Woodsboro. So he started a whole trend, not in a good way but in a bad way, and he was the original killer. I think that's maybe one of the reasons why he just beats out Stu. Stu has the wit and the charm, but so does Billy. Billy has the charm, but he also has the knowledge as well. He knows what to do, he plans things out. He makes Sidney believe that he's a killer, only to then take it away and make her believe that he wasn't a killer, and then make him believe he's a killer again. It's back and forth. It's mind games with Billy. It wasn't just about killing people and making them die, etc. No, this is about him torturing people, making them think that he's a good guy, making them think that they're at fault, making them think that their family members are at fault. He's a complete psychopath, whereas other people in the franchise, other killers, they only do it because they're copying people, whereas Billy had the knowledge, Billy had the reason, and he was executing it perfectly. So that is my ranking for all the Ghostface killers in the Scream movie franchise. Leave your list down below, guys. If you don't want to name all 9, that's absolutely fine. There's quite a lot. If you only want to tell me your top 1 or 2 and give me your reasons why, leave those comments down below. And as always, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.